It's been an amazing 5 short years, and yet here we are, another new start. Everything we have accomplished is a testament to having the right people and the right systems in place. From the very beginning, we wanted to be worthy of your trust. We wanted to make you proud. Our goal still is to be the finest and most respected retail energy provider in America, and to never sacrifice integrity for growth. This is a people company. All of our successes are because of the people that we have and the people that we attract and retain. I'm so grateful. Grateful for the Ambit team that holds to vision and makes it a reality. Grateful for our dedicated, inspiring consultants, and grateful for the love, respect, and support of my family. We're a company that's built for growth. We've had unbelievable success. Everything we've done as a team, and this is only the beginning. We're poised for explosive growth. We're ready to turn it on. Thank you. Thank you. A little over 5 years ago, the Ambit story began. John Burke pressed enter and switched my home to a new electricity company. Carolyn and I became its very first customers. And my parents, always willing to support my new adventures, crossed their fingers, held their breath, and agreed to be switched as well. Many of you have heard the story. Everything worked great for about 3 weeks. And then during an early April heat wave, the phone rang. It was my wife, Carolyn. She asked if there was any reason why our electricity had gone off. I asked her if she was sure. She said, yes, the electricity is definitely off. I told her I'd investigate and get back to her. There were only about 6 of us at the time, and turning pale as I stood, I asked if anyone had sent a disconnect order to have our power turned off, and everyone shook their head no. Well, anytime you start a business, you know what you know, and you know what you don't know, but you don't know what you don't know. And I had this sinking feeling that there was something very basic that we didn't know anything about. Well, the phone rang again. This time it was one of our guys driving back to the office. He said he had heard on the radio that because of the unexpected heat wave, there wasn't enough power on the grid and TXU was having rolling brownouts. I breathed a sigh of relief and said, great. The phone rang yet again. It was Carolyn. She said the power just came back on. Thank you very much. And I said, no problem. And we were on our way. Carolyn, you were more nervous than anyone at that point, but you never lost faith in us. And a bit ago, Chris talked about the butterfly effect. And without your loving support, there might not be an Ambit today. Please stand so that we can all thank you for your unwavering support from the very, very beginning. We knew then that we were ready to get started gathering customers. The question was how. We wanted to acquire customers at a low cost that paid their bills and remained loyal. This led to a discussion about a direct sales model and to my meeting with Chris for turkey sandwiches at Potbellies. Chris saw the potential immediately and the window of opportunity, but he was also a realist. He wanted me to fully understand that we would be starting in the shadow of another direct sales competitor that already had a 1.5-year head start selling electricity. They already had weekly meetings all over the state of Texas and were predicting that they would reach $1 billion in revenue the following year. Chris told me that we'd be at a huge disadvantage. He said it was going to take longer and it would be more expensive. The risk would be greater and the challenges steeper, and there'd be a good chance that most of the people we wanted in our business had already joined our competitor. I thought about it over the weekend. I'd liked Chris immediately and quickly got great references on him. I knew the potential market was huge and that deregulation was still very new. The window of opportunity was just opening. I knew we could acquire good systems and attract an experienced management team. Optimistically, I thought that we could overcome every challenge. I was young and naive. Well, not necessarily young, but younger. And my mind kept repeating, whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness is genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. And the following Monday, I called Chris and said, let's get started. We talked about what kind of company we wanted to build, and we knew that whenever any of you approached a friend or a family member about becoming an Ambit consultant or an Ambit customer, you would be putting your reputation on the line. And you would be trusting that Ambit would deliver as promised, not just some of the time, but all of the time. And we wanted to be worthy of your trust. We wanted to make you proud of your association with Ambit. So our first decision was to build the finest and most respected retail energy provider in America. But I was still nervous. Thank you. I was still nervous. There are a lot of direct sales companies that have succeeded, and there are many more that have failed, and some of those left a stigma about direct sales. I was about to put my reputation and my family's reputation on the line, so I called on 3 friends who had been in direct sales for guidance and feedback. I spoke with a senior executive at Mary Kay and asked how Mary Kay had handled everything so well for so many decades. He emphasized the importance of never sacrificing integrity for growth. I called Joey Carter, one of our hosts today, whose grandmother had started Home Interiors. He and his family had run that company for decades and had built it into a billion-dollar entity. Joey encouraged me to reach out to the Direct Selling Association and join it as soon as possible. The DSA investigates applicants for membership thoroughly and restricts their membership to companies with principled business policies. They do background checks on the executives and dive into the details of the compensation plan. Membership in the DSA is like receiving a good housekeeping seal of approval. And lastly, I spoke with Kenny Trout, the founder and former CEO of Excel Communications. Excel, in their compensation plan, changed direct sales forever. The compensation plan he created for the long-distance industry was easily adaptable to the electricity industry. Kenny was incredibly enthusiastic about direct sales, and he couldn't stop talking about you, the consultants. He said that as a business, we would probably be very successful selling electricity. It's the perfect product. But that our greatest satisfaction would come not from our business success, but from the stories we would hear from consultants whose lives had changed because they found hope again. They straightened out their finances. They were able to spend more time with their families and friends. They learned to do what they never thought possible, and they grew as individuals. I listened and I smiled. I had never been in direct sales, and I didn't have a clue what he was talking about. A few weeks later, in June of 2006, my sons, Jerry and Peter, helped me move furniture into an empty warehouse space with hardwood floors in downtown Dallas and its beautiful red brick walls. We turned on the lights and unfolded those $19 tables, and about a dozen of us got started. When we could delay it no longer, we finally picked a name, Ambit, and it means sphere of influence, and it seemed perfect for our new sales channel. We asked 10 people to become our founding consultants. 6 said no, 4 said yes. And when we felt our systems were finally ready, we launched in August of 2006. From those first 4 consultants, we began to grow exponentially. 5 years later, we now have over 625,000 customers. And the great news is we're adding customers faster than any other energy utility in America. One new order every 45 seconds, and you all are doing that. The Ambit story is still in the opening chapters, and everyone here has a role. We're at the stage where we've worked very hard to grow big, and now we're working just as hard to act small. Small in the sense that we want to stay nimble, agile, eager, and grateful. We want to care for each of you and for each of our customers, just as we did when the kits going out the door numbered only 1 or 2 per day. We don't want to forget where we came from or lose sight of what made us successful. And while our systems and tools and management have evolved in anticipation of our growth, our values and attitudes and culture have remained constant to protect that growth. We will add more customers and more consultants in the next 12 months than in any year before. We will add more electricity and natural gas markets in the next 12 months than we did in the last 5 years. Everybody loves hearing that. Between 2006 and 2010, expansion was the exception. And from 2011 going forward, expansion will be the norm. And the good news is we've been preparing for this growth since the day we started. We have never let good enough be good enough. And since last year's ambition, we have continued upgrading our call center to make it the most courteous, the most professional, and the finest in the industry. We've added depth. We've added depth to our IT department, rewritten code, updated websites, improved processes, and streamlined the complexities of expansion. We have brought invaluable experience into our finance and accounting departments, experience we'll need as we continue to grow into new markets. Our sales and marketing folks are the industry's finest. No one can match their talent and ability. They orchestrated Ambition 2011. And they support your activities every single day of the year. Collectively, Ambit is a community of people, and it reflects their skills, personalities, work ethics, and values. We are who we are, and we have achieved what we have achieved because we have successfully attracted people and consultants like you who share our values and passions and visions. Everywhere we go, people come up and say they joined Ambit because they admire our goal to be the finest and most respected. They say their decision to join was sealed when they understood that we care about their reputation and that we seek to be worthy of their trust and that we never want to sacrifice integrity for growth. As we look ahead, our greatest challenge won't be keeping up with your growth. We know that's coming and we're prepared for it. It won't be expansion or competition. We've expanded and competed successfully from the day we started. Our greatest challenge will be passing on our values and our standards to the tens of thousands of new consultants who will join Ambit in the months and the years to come. Whenever someone joins Ambit, they watch, listen, and learn. They will repeat what they have seen and heard. And we all know recruiting can be difficult. We all want to build our organizations, and the impulse is to flood recruits with positive and promising news about Ambit and the opportunity. When faced with skepticism or rejection, it's human nature to want to overwhelm concerns with even more convincing facts or rebuttals. Some might even resort to exaggeration. Please, please, don't exaggerate. It's not sustainable. Ambit didn't become the fastest growing private company in America by exaggerating the opportunity. We succeeded by rolling up our sleeves, by holding our standards high, by offering real services to real savings, by paying real dollars to real consultants, and by seeking to deliver as promised, not just some of the time, but all of the time. That is sustainable. I believe that everyone here wants to win with honor, and we all want to be proud of our hard-earned success. Please avoid shortcuts and always do the right thing, even when no one is watching. The opening chapters of the Ambit story describe how this collection of wonderful people, teachers, firefighters, policemen, nurses, doctors, realtors, lawyers, immigrants, business owners, students, accountants and engineers, single parents and couples, the young and the old, from different backgrounds and different nationalities, help each other, support one another, pick each other up off the floor, and continually overcome all odds in order to conquer our enemies and demons and to win lasting victories for our families and for ourselves. That is our story. That is the Ambit story. Look around you. We're all in this together, and you're a part of it. You're a part of a community that wants to help you succeed. You're a part of a family of consultants that knows what you're going through and cares about your success. And you're a part of a company that is doing all it can to support you and help you reach your goals. This past summer, Chris and I traveled around the country. Baltimore, Chicago, Utica, Fort Worth, Tyler, Dallas, Rochester, Philadelphia, New York City, Abilene, Clear Lake, Austin, McAllen. Thousands and thousands of you warmly embraced us and shared your enthusiasm and your stories. When we returned home, there were hundreds of personal letters and a couple of wonderful drawings from children sitting on our desks from many of you here today in Brian McClure's organization. The letters describe why you joined Ambit, what you overcame, what challenges you still face, and what Ambit means to you and your families. And while I had heard individual stories over the years, this was the first time that so many of your stories came all at once. And I suddenly understood what Kenny Trout had told me years ago, when he said that our greatest satisfaction would come not from our business success, but from the stories we would hear from consultants. He was right. We read your stories about lives that had changed because you found hope again. You straightened out your finances. You were able to spend more time with your loved ones and strengthen the most important relationships in your lives. And you found new friends within Ambit that enrich your lives in ways money never could. You were expecting to grow in income, but never really expected to grow yourself. You can afford music lessons for your children. You grew in confidence by learning to speak in public, by succeeding through helping others, and by prospering from your hard work. You and your families were able to dream again. You wake up with a smile on your face. And every story mattered. We were overwhelmed by them and by your gratitude. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for taking the time to send them to Chris and me. Thank you for sharing what Ambit has meant to you and your families. And thank you for your encouragement and prayers. We know what we read was a small sampling of all your stories. And I hope you know how grateful we are for each of you. You have changed our lives as much as Ambit has changed your lives. Thank you very, very much. We really can't thank you for all you do every day to keep standards high, to enthusiastically present the Ambit opportunity, to persevere through rejection and disappointment, and to help others find success in their own lives. We're proud of you, and we're sincerely grateful for all that you do. And the success of the last 5 years pales to the promise of the next 5 years. When we say the best is yet to come, we really mean it. Although we've been asked many times, we have never publicly announced customer or revenue targets, but I'm going to right now. Next year, we can reach 2 incredible milestones with your help. Let's set our sights on reaching 1 million customers and $1 billion in revenue. Do you think you can do that? Yeah. Are you sure? Yeah. Well, on behalf of John and Chris, Cynthia and Laurie, please know that we enjoy your friendship, appreciate your trust, and wish you the very best of success in the years to come. And remember, don't blink. Time is flying by, so turn it on. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.